You're listening to the UK Christian Hip Hop Podcast on Kingdom Culture.
Question for both of you on that merit. Who is the most not diverse. Who's the most I won't say flexible either, but I think you know what I'm trying to say. Like, who is the most versatile MC? So that includes like MCs and rappers, male. Actually, it's hard to do female because there's one that comes to everyone's mind right now.
I know what comes to my mind.
So if you include her,
I know there's a female who's versatile.
Who's the most versatile MC in the UK? I'm just keeping it there.
I'm gonna go straight in and say Melvillous.
I was about to say that as well.
I have to go. Now I heard him on drill. I've heard him on grime. I've heard him on rap. I've heard him on beats. I've heard him on beats without beats in it. Just simps. I remember it was a local EP. I think Coleman's done. The Mother's Cry. I forgot what it was called. Something to do with mothers crying for their sons dying, and there's no beat. It's just simps, and he spits on it like there is a beat. This guy's a special talent, man. Yeah, straight up. Like,
what about you?
I would have said the same thing, Melvillous.
Wow.
What have said?
That's interesting. I would have said the same thing.
Oh, you would have said the same thing as well.
Yeah.
See,
but you see, I'll throw Governor B into that mix as well. Though.
It's funny. So Governor B was my first thought, but I was like, who would I rather listen to? So like Governor B, he will always have the best professionally sounding album. And so he can make a mediocre beat sound good. He just has the most professional sound. Do you know what I mean? And his sound seems to stand the test of time. He doesn't have to do the same amount of frequency of body of word as your Melvillous. You know what I mean? Because he always has the audience, the ears, and he can just strategically choose the right songs. Melvillous is still working hard, but he's always the MC's MC. See what I mean? He needs to get into that kind of, I wouldn't say needs to get into the commercial light, but he deserves the credit that he deserves. And it should be alongside, you know. It's almost like Jay-Z said the best MC was, Talib Kweli. You know, and I was a huge Talib Kweli fan. I was never a Jay-Z fan. He's done hits and all this kind of stuff, but I was always a Talib Kweli fan. And it's a shame Talib Kweli has never had the limelight or the exposure that Jay-Z's had.
Well, I guess we look at like, talent versus, production houses and powerhouses behind an artist. It's a completely different, like when I look at Melvillous, I'm just thinking maybe a label is not best suited for someone like a Melvillous. He could go into a label and find himself snuffed out. I've had a few friends that have been signed to places like Virgin or Warner Music, EMI, places like that, and they've been snuffed out. You think they're happy, they've got an advance, they've bought cars or bought a house or whatever it may be. Nothing happens. One of my friends actually happened to them. He got signed to Virgin back in the day when they were a label before they were a radio station. I don't know if you remember that time.
Yeah.
He got signed to them. And when he got signed to them, the explicit words of the person who like brought him on was like, we signed you so you will be no competition to our artist who does the same music as you. And he was shelved for 2.5 years. It was like a 1 album deal.
So they literally like they're fine.
And so what he would do, he would make music and they'd be like, yeah, back to the studio. Yeah, it's all right, but we want something more. So they just keep pushing him back. They didn't literally shelve him, but they told him, it's like, yeah, man, we've got an artist currently.
Wow.
And, you're going to hinder the sales.
They done a strategic move, basically.
It is, but then again, I think someone like a Melvillous, I'm like, is this what you need? Like, is this what you need? Does he need more like PR maybe than a label or things like that, Because it's about the powerhouse behind the artist. It's like talent is one thing, but we all know that talent doesn't really get you there. It's more or less who you know. And you feel like Governor B, he knows the circles in order to create the sound he wants. Like this new one, Coleman's is on his new album, produced a beat which holds Wretch 32 and I think another artist as well. So I'm thinking of that Governor B kind of is connected to the right places to create that production sound that rivals what's going on in the secular, which I'm happy about. I'm really, really happy that Governor B is doing something like that. But I think versatility, man, I want to see Melville. I know it's going to sound weird when I say this, yeah, but I think you know what I mean. I want to hear him sing. Not sing that ballad thing, but you know, kind of like, what would it be like if you sung, if you took your bars and then just softened the flow back and just try to like melodically just see what part of, like, you know, when you can rap that kind of thing. I want to see what that would be like. Like, could he stretch his versatility that far? Not to sing like a whole track, that's dead. I'm just talking about certain moments. Could he like melodically, like, what would that look like? Because he done, what's his recent track he done? I think he was messing about with autotune, almost like a Mark Jones did on his like, they don't understand what they're real. It's good tune. I can't know if you guys have
that's
heard
more
it,
kind of like,
but like, you know what I'm trying to say, melody
kind of thing, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, I think most versatile artists for me personally. But I you know, I would challenge more UK Christian artists like to, like, you know, step into that realm. But at the same time, I'm just excited that everyone's just doing their own thing. It's not just one sound or one narrow way. It's like, you know, we're all trying to come with our own unique identity, and we're just being ourselves. No one's carrying the other person's flow, trying to be like someone. We're just all, but again, when success hits and hits a certain artist, and that certain artist's flow is most likely to be copied, and that's what I fear.
Yeah,
it was like a Lecrae kind of like.
Yeah, but then again, you know, I'm not worried about that part, because imitation is the best. You know, is almost a confirmation that you're doing well. You know what I mean? But that's when people start to expand on that. I don't see many people trying to copy you know, Governor B that much. Like
he's got a different, his you know, his sound, his actual voice.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. He sounds like,
his voice
he raps like he talks.
Yeah, his voice is very, so he's
how do you feel about that? How do you guys feel about that?
I like that.
So when people who talk, who don't sound like they rap, it's kind of weird, isn't it?
Kind of, but here's the thing. Like, if you hear Jadakiss, for example, he just sounds so different than he talks.
True.
You know what I mean? Nas sounds like he talks. Jay-Z sounds like he talks.
But then he does it with like a swag, don't he, though?
But only he can do it because it's his voice. You know what I mean? Like, and all those guys like Snoop Dogg as well. Like, Snoop Dogg has such a distinct sound, but that's the way he talks. You know what I mean? And so, like, I feel
he does sound a bit different though. I remember I used to watch the documentaries of Snoop Dogg, and when he talks like normally, but when he raps, he kind of has a much more dragged out, like that kind of thing. But when he talks, he's like, he didn't talk like he rapped, if you get where I'm coming from. He sounded, the tone was a sound, but
kind of.
different.
Yeah, but then there's the professional voice, like telephone voice. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like it's so distinct, like, say, Buster. Buster sounds like he's still busting rhymes. You're waiting for like as he talks, he's just as animated. Q-Tip too, like, has a flow that's just so akin to the way that they are. And so, I don't know, like, I feel that it's weird when you have an artist that it like so different, you know, so different. That's what I think is weird, you know.
So which brings me to a question. So what is a good rap voice? What would you say is a good rap voice then?
Well, it's strange because I remember I can't remember what episode it was, but Calvin said once he received vocals. Obviously, we don't need to know who the artist was, but you receive vocals from an artist who he was like, yeah, man, that this artist is good. But when you receive the vocals in its raw format, you was like, whoa, it's so much more different to the finished product from the raw like audio files that you receive. And it makes you think, okay, so how much? So to your question, maybe added on like an attachment to what you said, Kat, is like how much doctoring of a vocal is allowed for a rapper to still be authentically them.
I don't know, bro. Because here's the thing: is like we live in a world, right? You know, from like 1978 when the first hip hop record came out, like we've come so far. like in technology and what we can do, and we're getting more creative with it. You know what I mean? We got rappers singing now. R&B is virtually dead.
You know what? I saw that on the
True.
internet, and some people
It's
weren't happy
true.
about that. Because you know why? Because I won't say it's dead. It's because a lot of rappers, again, they're singing their own hooks.
Yeah.
So it's like they're not, you know, they're
Some
not.
R&B heads are trying to spit too.
Yeah, it's true. But I mean, it's just the
But there
creative.
are some R&B artists out there.
Creativity changed.
I think there will always be R&B artists somewhere. Just like I heard a new gospel garage track, which is I really, really like. And like I was like, I know we normally do rap, but you know, garage has got a huge influence in rap in the UK. So like send it over, and you see that there are people out there still doing it. You know what I mean? I don't know. When I think about the R&B sound, I'm not infused. When I hear it, it just reminds me of like baggy jeans, 112 kind of thing. Like it's like.
No, but nothing could beat the R&B. Honestly, like seriously, or maybe it's because
And
the
cheesy
R&B people
lyrics.
compared it to before. I mean,
What about Music Soul Child then? I mean, he kind of matured the sound a little. He had D'Angelo, Music Soul Child.
Mm.
You know, he had that kind of wave. That it was less popular. Music Soul Child was the most popular. You just didn't like the John B kind of.
Yeah, I didn't mind the Joe. I didn't mind them. I quite like Jaheim a bit, kind of like. But
Isn't it funny that Joe? No, oh yeah, Joe was cool, but like, I'm trying. Jaheim, yeah, Jaheim had.
But then when you went to Genuine, just
no.
like it was just like, oh man, B2K kind of like poppy R&B. I think when it goes poppy R&B, that's when I really like Alicia Keys. I think is really good. I really like Alicia Keys. I like whoever writes her stuff, or if it's her, I really like her stuff. It's like she will marinate or something for 5 years and release it. It's like, you know what, like Woman's Worth now, you could play that and be like,
yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean?
And we're not women. We still relate.
Yeah, exactly. You know, we can respect that. But even like that pop R&B stuff, that really gets me. But the sound of a rapper, I think, like, you know, you got high pitched rappers whose voices are quite high.
Yeah.
I don't know, like, is it more socially acceptable to be a rapper with a deep voice rather than a high voice?
That's true, because sometimes they go high notes, but if they was to do high too much, I think it would.
No, naturally, like their voice is naturally high, so their voice is like, yo, you know, like, I was like a Little Wayne, I was annoying,
like a little whiny sort of.
Yeah, like a whiny, like, you understand that. I really like D1, by the way. I think he's a solid artist, and I think he makes good music, and he's a very good lyricist. The way it's very clear and plain how he delivers it, but it's almost like the New Orleans sound, where they're very, you know, a lot of treble in their voice. If you know what I mean? Is that?
I think that's more him, though.
You know, but he's like my influences were obviously New Orleans. Little Wayne, when he busts out and did his thing, it was like, wow. And then when I heard Little Wayne from the days of Lollipop all the way through, it's just like, yo, he's up there. Like, and I know he had a issue with the cough syrup addiction and whatnot. It does that to his voice, but
there's a song I've been working on, and it has a laid back feel, and he has a pretty high voice. So I had to use a different microphone that was duller in the high end to highlight some other part of his voice to make it sound right, you know, so that he can match. So I can highlight his cadence, really show off his delivery, and it was a well-written song. And so I feel that, you know, and this guy happens to be a rapper, producer, and he engineers a little. I feel sometimes you just need to let go of one of those plates that you're spinning, just so you can get somebody to have a more intellectual, you know, addition to your team when it comes to your production. So yeah, cadence is so important.
Where do you feel like people's tone comes from? Do you think it's like, obviously influences who they've listened to and whatnot, but don't you find it a bit remarkable how people, like artists who become rappers, or people who become rappers, should I say, develop a style?
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing.
That's quite
if I was going to sell something on the phone to you, there's no way I'm gonna sound like I'm laying. There's no way I'm gonna physically lay down and try to sell you something on the phone. I'm not gonna call you like maybe early in the morning before I have my coffee. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta feel it, believe it. Like, there's a delivery to it. You may have written the lyrics, but you might be off that day. Like, I've called sessions off. I was like, dude, your mind is not here. You know, you sound good, but I don't believe you. And belief is something we all can perceive. You know, when you're on the phone and you know, in fact, all of you can close your eyes and you can tell when I'm smiling. You can hear me smile.
Yeah, just
Okay, let's do a test.
You don't know what that sounds.
no,
because
it's true,
people,
because on radio, when I was taught, I was always told, when you speak, you got to smile.
Yeah.
Because people, even though they can't see you, they can actually.
all right, let's do a test, yeah, because especially those who listen on podcasts, yeah, we want to find out if you can hear Calvin smile against Calvin not smiling, and then Cass smiling against Cass not smiling. Okay, so we're gonna do 1 and then 2, and then you're gonna answer which one it is and see if people got it right. So we should give it a try, yeah? Does that make sense? All right,
Okay.
cool. We're gonna say Calvin is doing 1. You gotta talk, bro.
All right, I'm going to talk. So this is how I sound talking in test number 1.
Okay. Test number 2, Calvin.
And now I'm talking, and now you know what I sound like in test number 2.
Okay. Now, obviously, like tell us what you tell us if 1, Calvin was smiling or not, and 2, if Calvin was smiling or not. Cass, let's go for you. Test 1.
Okay, this is me smiling or not smiling.
And test 2.
Okay, this is me smiling or not smiling.
Interesting.
And you can hear it in the voice. It's very tiny. So you know, if you did genuinely close your eyes and listen to both those tests.
Do you feel like it's more than just the shape of the mouth? It has to do with something inside, like joy and happiness that comes out through
Bro,
the
do you know what it is?
stretching of the
why do you have
word,
to
the
go close up
tone.
to the mic
I'll tell you
to
exactly
that
what
as
it
well?
is, right?
Up to the screen.
It is church clothes. It is church clothes. Think about it. If you're gonna come out and go into Sainsbury's in your pajamas, you're not gonna walk
Right,
in
have
there.
you done that before, by any
church.
chance?
No, but you know, I refuse to do that. But like, imagine if, because you never know who you run into, innit?
Yeah.
Some people do that in onesies, which
I know, bro.
blows my mind, man.
But here's the thing: you're not gonna have the same mentality in your pajamas as you are gonna have in your church clothes. Just you know, and church. The reason why I say church clothes is like you're never gonna do a board meeting the same way in your pajamas as you do in your office attire. It just doesn't happen. Like mentally, something changes. It's a state of readiness. You see what I mean? We don't care how many syllables you put in a bar, unless you say it with the right tone and energy and cadence that delivers exactly what you're trying to say. You know, this is why you said like earlier, 140 is hard to hear a story and go deep with it. The reason being is because the rhythm's in your face, and that's the emphasis of the track. But if you have a track that you feel, man, I'm gonna deliver on this. Maybe this is the song. This is the song where I'm gonna put my testimony in it. If you're gonna share your testimony, you better show. You better believe it. You know, you better be there when you say it. Otherwise, people don't get it. They're gonna miss it.
And that's one thing I really do like about rap music, and obviously because it's matured over the years and it's got many, many roots, is that you can actually develop it, whether it's fast, slow, you can actually merge it and make it to the point where you can actually emote in the correct manner over the beat. As grime still is, it's weird, isn't it? Grime is narrowed to that very BPM of 140. You may be able to go, I won't say 10 up, that's even more fast, but maybe 10 down, or, you know, lower than that, then it's just rap again kind of thing, or maybe garage, or you get what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to like build a picture of like, you know, rap has got such a wider spectrum where you can actually deliver and actually place the beat into more submission to what the artist is saying, less to the other way around for grime, which again has its own delivery format. But I do definitely believe that the spirit of the artist needs to go forward. If your spirit is not involved in what you're doing, then it's going to fall flat. I think that's the difference between timeless music and music that has a use-by date, if you know what I mean. Those albums that you never go back to, that's in your discography somewhere in the back. But that same thing that even though Michael Jackson, you know, when you think of how he made his music and how he literally put his whole self into it to create that. And it's amazing, even more amazing as Christians, where we're not looking to try and put ourselves into the music, but we're putting Christ in as Christ, as we're talking for our testimonies and experiences and life challenges, we see Christ come through that, and the power is even more effective, and the truth is even more effective. But that does not negate quality.
Yes,
and I think that's where I think the Christian, I don't know about the CCM and all them other heads, but especially in the UK, Christian rap has really struggled. And sometimes in the US, I see it too, where the struggle is, you know, the passion for the gospel and to see Jesus, you know, the glory go to God, and then the quality, and sometimes it doesn't marry up. And as you're talking about types of microphones, as you're talking about production houses, quality of lyrics, or not about squeezing as much syllables in and learning how much of yourself to put in and go into that place whilst recording, and not trying to juggle all the plates at once. I think these are all part and parcels of different elements to not create this environment of mediocre and very blech. You know, but actually say, no, let's go up to a higher echelon of quality and start to look at these individual items and go, right, now, how can we improve? How can we put another 5% on there to the overall product become so much more powerful? So we're going to end it there for this episode. You know the usual. Again, share it with others, you know, who might be interested in what we're talking about and discussing. We're building a community. Hopefully it's seen to an industry where we start small to, you know, to grow this thing. But yeah, it's the end of the show.
You're listening to the UK Christian Hip Hop Podcast on Kingdom Culture.